99.3 Nigeria Info. Lovely morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us on the Morning Crossfire for today. Well, if you're just joining us, that is, you're welcome. If you've joined us since 5 a.m. that we started this trip, thank you for sticking around. Appreciate you a lot. Let's all have you know that we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Just so you know, so you can join this conversation on Facebook and YouTube. And we'll sure to make sure that we have a very, very good, brilliant conversation. Now, we will continue our conversation concerning COVID-19. But this time around, we're switching up the gear a little bit faster because we're talking about fertility, how COVID-19 may have affected your fertility, whether you are a man or you are a woman. This morning we'll be having an expert opinion on that particular conversation. So be rest assured that your thought also will be welcomed as we go along this morning on the show. But in the meantime, you can let me know exactly what your thoughts are on this. But if you notice anything concerning your fertility, let's know what you think. I'm being joined right now by Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, the MD CEO, Nordica Fertility Center, Lagos. Dr. Ajayi, a very lovely morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Sheriff. How are you today?
I'm doing okay, sir. How are you? Have you been keeping safe, Doc?
Oh, yes. It's been challenging, but we thank God. We're still hanging on.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, is it even a possibility that COVID can affect fertility?
Well, it's $1 million question, and it's a question that we still don't have the full answers to. But the current evidence might not really alarm us, okay? In the sense that what we can talk about probably is that the final product of fertility is pregnancy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And what we, according to the World Health Organization, that the clinical manifestation of COVID is not affected by pregnancy.
Okay.
So there is really no change whether you're pregnant or you're not pregnant in the clinical manifestation of COVID, which is the so that's the good thing. That yes, there have been some other reports about whether it can affect sperm. Well, it's been detected in some semen samples or stuff like that.
Right.
But like I said, the overall riding thing is the fact that this sole purpose or the end result of fertility in men and women is pregnancy. So we can take solace in that people can still get, because don't let us forget some things about this COVID thing.
Right.
COVID is just about 1 year with us, so we don't know everything about it.
True.
It was not until March that even the WHO declared it a pandemic, because when it first started, we thought it was confined to a particular part of the world.
Right.
Now we know it's a pandemic.
Right.
And we know that there's another strain now, which we don't even know so much about again, with whether the vaccine is fully effective or partially effective. So there's so many unknown entities about COVID. But, when it first started, it threw everybody into a frenzy.
Right.
All the professional bodies first started by telling us to stop reproductive treatment. So people who are doing IVF had to stop for some time. Of course, we did not know whether it was going to affect when you get pregnant or whatever, because we were looking at some other things in the past, some viruses that had happened in the past that affected the babies, But the good thing now is, yes, it's also been detected in placenta, but the thing is that we've not seen it affecting babies. Well, a few babies have been affected,
Okay.
But the general consensus now is that people can go on with their reproductive treatment. So it's by and large, that's why I said there's so many unknown entities. But of course, that does not even take away from the fact that fertility clinics or even other medical services are affected by COVID-19.
Because that's what I wanted to ask you, Doctor. There was an advisory that there should be a stoppage to, fertility treatments, and then people stopped going to any public places at some point. There was lockdown at another point. I mean, how has this really affected, your space, the fertility space, in terms of people coming over, in terms of your operations as well, in terms of even your exposure, the exposure rate in your space as well? How has this affected you?
Well, I think, because just like I said initially, that the thing, didn't know anything about it at all. So ignorance fueled a lot of things. We panicked. Everybody panicked. Those of us who are providers, the patients, everybody panicked. And so the first thing was that then that's why the professional body said, look, stop this for now. But as time went on, we understood more about it. And we knew that the most important thing was to prevent infection, So we all now went into a defensive mode. That's trying to space out patients. We provide, that anything that makes people to be crowded together is like a super spreader event. So we avoided crowding people together in the clinic. Yeah, so we operated strictly by appointment. We know that is a little bit difficult for Nigerians, but we had, and we're still having to insist on that. So if you come too early for your appointment, you might be told to stay in your car until the coast is clear that you can stay in the clinic. We made sure that everybody, both staff and people, the clients, had to put on masks when they are in the clinic, which was a difficult thing also because I think so. For some reason, some people believe that COVID does not exist. I'm sure majority of them must be changing their minds now, especially with this second wave. So, but that was one of the things that we had to cope with initially. We had to be calling patients before they come to the clinic, asking them about symptoms, and then you still see that some people will not tell you the truth, But now I think people are getting used to it, that it's for everybody's good that we prevent ourselves from getting infected, because the infection is only from you to the providers of the service, can also be from the providers of the service to you. So it's a two-way thing. So that's one of the things that we're doing, the same thing we're doing with the patients or the clients, the same thing we're doing with the staff, rigorous screening, and so that's what we've been doing all along. Avoid contact to the minimum, and of course, we now started to use more technology for consultation. Telephone, Zoom. So these are some of the things that have changed in the provision of services, medical services and fertility services.
Right.
But we think we are getting better, and the patients also are getting to understand. Some people used to think that, the doctor does not want to see me. No, but no, we don't want to see you because we want to limit the contact.
Right. Right.
With everybody. It's safer for you because the rule is that apart from the people in your immediate family, that you stay in the same house together. Anytime you are with anybody that does not stay in the same house with you, you should put on a mask and maintain social distance.
Right. Dr. Ajayi, it's 8:20 from our time, which means I have about 4 more minutes before we take our first break. But I need to drop this question. So there's been arguments back and forth from your space as to, so yes, COVID can affect fertility, especially in men. Now, this is some of the things that I've read. And some experts have said that, look, because one of the symptoms of COVID is high fever. High fever in men is not good for semen production. I want to hear from your opinion as an expert in this space for so many years. What's your take on this? High fever, COVID, semen, healthy semen production. What's the relationship between these three?
Yes, we know that high fever is not good for sperm production, but it's difficult for me to take a stand on this because don't forget that this fever is not going to stay there forever.
That's right.
So it's a transient thing, especially if you get past that stage. Okay, so it's likely that it will recover over time. Like I said, actually, also what initially made us to be frightened was that when people said they could find it in testicular samples. Okay, so that made us also to say, oh, can we be transmitting this to the kids, especially when for fertility treatment? But that is not evidence yet. And don't forget that one thing that we do that maybe has made us to be, as long as we're not transferring to the kids, that has given us some comfort is the fact that with IVF we can deal with, we can cope with even when the sperms are not so many.
Okay.
So because we can do something we call ICSI. So, and that's one of the things that the question that needed to be answered. Are you going to be transferring this to the kids? But so far so good, we don't have evidence to say that. So I whatever effect it has on the sperm count is transient. So, and therefore, once the fever is gone, which we know is just a phase, once the fever is gone, then you can fully, especially for people who will fully recover.
So there's no need to panic or to worry about the high fever thing, especially when you, even when you're diagnosed of COVID. There's no reason to worry. At least for now, there are no facts backing that up.
Yeah, no, because you see, I think, fertility should not even be the first thing on your mind if you are diagnosed with COVID.
Right.
Because the first thing on your mind is how that you don't go down, you don't go south. Your health does not go south. So I think the first thing is that you must be able to survive it in order for you to go through fertility treatment. Like we have had some patients who, during the time of their treatment, they developed full-blown COVID, and what we just did was to stop the treatment.
Okay. And
of course, some of them have come back to do the treatment, have been successful because they've been negative after that, so they've been able to have get their wives pregnant after surviving COVID. So that's not really something for you to lose so much sleep about. But what we need to, if anything, the first thing is that we must prevent ourselves from having COVID. And I think, Sheriff, that is probably the biggest message we should be sending from all avenues.
You're right.
Because people are still not, any crowded event is a super spreader event.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still surprised when I see people going to parties, social gatherings, when there are so many people, even worship services. These are things that people need to be aware of now.
Right.
That they're super spreader events. And when you sing, it dissipates viruses. So we need to be, these are the things we need to be educating our people on to prevent us from catching the COVID-19 first and foremost, before every other thing.
Right. Now let's take a few thoughts from Lagos before we go out on our first break. Lagos, if you're listening to me and you have questions for Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, MDCO, Nautical Fertility Center, feel free to call in right now and ask your question. We've got about a minute or so to take your thought before we go on a break. 0700 993 993 993. That is 0700 993 993 993. You can also share your thoughts with us on Facebook, because we're streaming live on Facebook. That's facebook.com /Nigeria Info FM on Facebook. Same goes for YouTube as well. Nigeria Info 99.3 on YouTube. Share your thought with us there. And on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. On Twitter, we'd like to know exactly what you think about the conversation we're having this morning on the Morning Crossfire. And if you'd like to send in your WhatsApp message, the WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. That is on WhatsApp. That's 0809 597 5805 on WhatsApp. Dr. Ajayi, how has it been? People coming forward for treatment. Has it reduced? Has it increased during this time?
Well, I'll say apart from the initial scare, I think after we recovered from the March-April scare, I think things have been like almost normal.
Okay.
Normalized. So, I think everybody has sort of, until this second wave started again, which really and truly we have not really reacted properly to.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
we haven't.
because we
We
are
haven't.
still, many people are still ignoring this second wave, which we all know that it's more infectious and probably more deadly than even the first wave. I mean, now, the first wave, we were hearing numbers, but this time is like it's home now. We can put names to. Just yesterday, we saw how many people.
Quite a number of people. Quite a
Yeah,
number of people.
how many people died,
Quite
and
a
it's
number
been
of
like
people.
that on a daily basis now for
Yeah.
quite a few weeks.
Yeah. Okay, Jai, let's go on a break. When we return, we'll talk more. We have people calling and trying to join us right now. We'll be right back. Stay here, Lagos.
Guy, you don't see that new funny video for Twitter? That one with the boy.
You mean this one?
What of that brother Shaggy News Kitty? Where they circulate WhatsApp?
Oh, this one.
What of that meme? Where the
Don't dull yourself, oh. Dial star 777 hash now. Make you begin the browse, they go.
Glow Unlimited. Smart is starting early. Smart is you being proactive. Smart is doing it online. Smart is filing your annual tax returns now. To all employers in Lagos, you have till 31st of January to file your annual tax returns. Smart up. Visit etax.lirs.net and log into your etax profile using your company's taxpayer ID and password. Select the returns module, the appropriate year of returns to be filed, the returns type, and download the appropriate template. Then click on File Returns to upload the updated returns template. Take notice that failure to file your company's annual tax returns on or before 31st of January 2021 is a contravention of the extant provisions of the Personal Income Tax Act, which attracts stiff penalties on defaulters. For inquiries, call 0700 2255 5477 or visit www.lirs.gov.ng. This message is from the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS.
I won't tell you the secret of better food. Now the new no chicken and classic seasoning powder. The ingredient they take make am na natural by nature, like real chicken, rosemary, black and white pepper, garlic, onion, parsley, mushroom, coriander, and plenty more. If you knack new no seasoning powder for inside your jollof, fried rice, egusi, and all other soup, you go know say flavor pass flavor. New no seasoning powder. Natural by ingredients, bangba by flavor.
Hello? James, look, I'm on the expressway. My car just broke down. I don't even know what to do.
Sorry, you do not have sufficient credit to continue this call.
Oh, please, no.
Why not?
This is an important call.
Then you should have recharged.
I would, but I'm in a position where I can't.
Why not borrow some credit then?
Borrow credit? How?
With Glow Borrow Me Credit, you can borrow airtime and pay later. It's easy. Just dial star 321 hash and follow the instructions.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Glow is always there for you when it matters most.
Sorry, James. As I was saying, my car just broke down now, and I have no help here.
Talk now, pay later with Glow Borrow Me Credit.
Glow Unlimited.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you once again. If you are just joining us this morning, I have Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, MD, CEO, Nordica Fertility Center, joining us on the show this morning. Dr. Abayomi, thank you again for joining us.
Always my pleasure.
Let's see if we still have Alhaji Zubair joining us this morning. Alhaji Zubair, are you still there? I think Alhaji Zubair has gone. Apologies for that. Nigeria Info, good morning to you. I think that caller too has gone. We're going to drop that. So let's move on with our conversation while we allow the phone line to calm down a little bit. We're going to talk about something that is a bit, I don't know, sensitive to you because it's your space, Doctor. One of the things that I also found out is the fact that there's been a little jack-up in access to fertility treatment ever since COVID started. Please hold on to that thought. Let's take in this call first. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Morning to you.
Fine.
We're waiting for you. Okay, I think we have to move on. The person is not ready. Dr. Abayomi, so from what I have heard and read as well, I don't know, maybe I should say I've read that there's been a little spike or hike, let's put it that way, in the amount of fertility treatment ever since COVID started. Is this true? And what could be the cause?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about because in my own center, we've not done that. Because because there is no uniform way of pricing, treatment in Nigeria. So we have not done that.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. Of course, it's costing more to do this now. Some of the things that you did not put into reckoning before. For example, to protect your staff, to screen, to do all these things cost more, of course. But we also, depends on where you're talking about, because we also know that it's also more difficult for the patients also to get money at this point in time because the economy is also affected. We know that the Nigerian economy has contracted by about 6 to 8%. Yeah. So it's a double whammy. So we are aware of that, but I don't know about other places.
Right, indeed. Let's go to the telephone now and take some calls. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Morning. Yes,
good morning to you.
Yeah, it's the same Alaji Subaru. You hold on.
Welcome.
The line cut. I waited for some time.
Yeah, we were on break.
Right, okay. My question to Dr. Abayomi is just on the issue of vaccine. Is it because I had a lot of the doctors, a lot of professors advising federal government to confirm the genuinity of the vaccine? What is it? What we see, what I observe, and I know a lot of people, is that the government is desperate in bringing the vaccine based on the call, based on 400 billion they want to just use to purchase it, but they don't even think about the genuinity of the vaccine. Look, I heard it from a colleague, because based on this treatment issue, a vaccine that can work for American Negroes or American black may not work for for black, for Africa in this our country here. So, and that is why everybody is clamoring for federal government to confirm the genuinity of this vaccine before bringing it to Nigeria to put it on somebody, because everybody is after his life. Our president has his own life, your vice president has his own life, everybody has his own life to use. We are talking about the genuinity of the vaccine. Please, doctor, can you confirm, educate us more about the genuinity, please?
Thank you, Alaji Zubair. Dr. Abayomi, is this something you can speak to?
Well, yes, I can. I think, Alaji, your concerns are probably in 2021, they are really genuine, because now there's so many conspiracy theories, there's so many things. But one thing I want you to know is that I think we must trust the science. Okay. I think maybe that also comes from me, because that is all my own life. If not, if I don't trust the science, I won't be doing what I'm doing. So we must trust the science. What we should be worried a little bit about is the logistics, not the efficacy of the
vaccines.
It's the logistics that I am a little bit worried about. But once we can maintain the logistics, it makes perfect sense. It's mRNA vaccine.
Right.
All right. And so it's your body that produces the antigen, and your body produces the antibody. It makes perfect sense. Unfortunately, this is the first time this is going to be done in the world, but they say necessity is the mother of invention. And we are not the first people to take it. We have seen so many people have taken it. In America, we've seen blacks in America take it. With so many of my friends who are doctors in America, in UK, they've taken it. So I think we should worry about the real stuff, which is logistics.
Right.
Because the temperature at which, except for the last one, the Pfizer vaccine, the first two, Moderna and the Oxford vaccine.
Yeah, Oxford is the one that
and
is
the
good.
Pfizer, they need special conditions for transportation, which is what I am a little bit worried about. But the Oxford, fortunately, might not need such.
Right.
So I think it's the logistics we need to worry about. How do we get this vaccine? But anybody who has access to
Hello?
Hold on, Ifekoya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Doc.
Someone said yesterday.
Go on, Doc.
I saw it on CNN. He said he was a 70-something-year-old man. He said, "Look, this is the first shot in my life I'm looking forward to." I think also it's the first shot in my life I'm looking forward to the injection. Like.
All right. Let's speak with Ifekoya, Doc. Ifekoya, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, please.
Yeah. My question about this vaccine, getting the vaccine, I know that may not be a big problem for the government. But my observation is this. When the coronavirus broke out in China, moved to Germany, moved to US, we saw videos of how people were being affected by the virus. We saw people, I don't know, I am being told now that those videos were not real. Some people were lying on the floor, some people were gasping for air. Different things of that nature is what we were seeing. But in Nigeria here, we don't have such occurrence. As a matter of fact, everything about the treatment of coronavirus patients is done in secrecy. It's not transparent. We don't know how it is being done. Now, my take is now this. Considering how these people are affected and how we are affected here, how are we sure that the same vaccine will suffice for the two different cases? And that means that in Nigeria's own case, can't we have a test of that laboratory test before we administer it on people?
Okay.
Since
all right.
we don't have the way this is affecting people is not exactly the same thing from what I can see.
I hear you.
I will be proved to the other side
Thank
by
you.
the medical doctor there. That's my question.
Thank you, Fekoya. Dr. Jai, would you like to speak to that?
Well, I'm not a specialist in virology, but I can give a fair assessment. And I guess all these concerns are genuine. I think the government needs to, or the people concerned really need to educate our people. You see, I share his fears, but I don't agree with them in the sense that when COVID first came, people are still living with the first strain of COVID. Now, it's like COVID went to the laboratory and has now COVID 2.0. It's now 2.0. The one that we have now is different from what we had in about March, April.
Yeah,
this one is really much, much infectious and probably more lethal than what we had before. Now, whether the vaccine will work the same thing was also the same fear was expressed in South Africa, because this second strain happened to started from South Africa, went to the UK, and we now have a strain in Nigeria that unfortunately we understudied.
Yeah.
But I think the first thing is, are we going to manufacture our own vaccine? I doubt. I will still implore people, if the vaccine is available, please take the vaccine. Because even that will probably confer you with, even if it's 60% efficacy, it's better than zero. This virus is a killer.
Why do you doubt that we can manufacture our own vaccines, though?
No, please, Sheriff, let us, I'm a realist, What have we done with malaria? What have we done? You see, this is now, we are more of a consuming nation than a manufacturing nation. No disrespect to our scientists. It's not that we don't have the people who can do things. But we can't even maintain roads. Please, let us talk about what is the reality. So,
okay, let's take this call, Doctor. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
It's Oluwasegun.
Oluwasegun. Okay, welcome.
Now, Sharif, my concern about this is a vaccine. And you know that, as a student, I've come to know that there are some antibodies that our body reflect to. And we have to, the COVID-19, the first wave, we are saying the second wave is more deadlier than this. Now, let's now bring in the vaccine in. And we have another wave. How do we try to match that together? And it is a belief that virus don't die. And so my concern is how effective the vaccine will be, not even bringing it now. And we know the nature of our bodies. We know the way our body reacts to everything. So that's just my question.
Okay. How effective? The effectiveness of the vaccine. Okay. Dr. Jai, I mean, you can hear people still expressing some kind of reservation as to whether the vaccines will be effective, especially to us here, because we've seen how resilient our immune system has been able to deal with COVID ever since it started. But let's see if we can get this thought in. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
My name is Olumoyiwa.
Welcome, Olumoyiwa. Welcome.
This is my own worry and concern. Maybe they want to give me this vaccine. But how come the world is always ready? Just within 8 months of coronavirus, the world is ready to fascinate the whole world. I've never heard in my lifetime that the world is ready to fascinate the whole world. Let me stop there.
Well, Olumiwa, thank you for calling. Dr. Ajayi, I don't know where you want to start from. The fact that people are worried about our own resistance to the virus and then vaccine coming in. Is that something to be worried about?
I don't. You see, I'm sorry. This analogy is like this. It's like you don't even have what you're fighting over yet. You understand? We don't even have enough vaccines for the whole nation, and we're already expressing, yes, it's natural, but I think people should now start educating our people on the importance of this vaccination and address some of these fears, which we might not have all the answers to. And that's why I started from that. We have to trust the science, because right now we don't even know what is the strain in Nigeria. Okay, is the vaccine? I understand what people are saying. Is the vaccine actually effective against this strain? We don't have the answer. You understand? But for me, I would rather take the vaccine first and find out later.
And ask questions later.
I'm telling you, because even if it's 50% that the vaccine is going to protect me, it's better than zero. So while we can now do some, I know some work is going on the vice president is interested in this. Some people are doing some work on COVID-19.
Right.
I pray that they are able to get some, but they're looking towards, from what I hear, the treatment. I don't know whether they're looking at the vaccine as well, but we can't even buy the vaccine for the whole nation. We are not rich enough to do that. So even if we are going to get vaccinated, it's probably going to come from this COVAX initiative.
Right.
That's going to give us free vaccination. So I think we need to, it's good to start thinking about the future, but we need to probably be a little bit realistic in our worries so that we don't worry over what is not going to happen.
Indeed. Let's speak with Chukwebuka. Yeah, Chukwebuka is joining us right now. Chukwebuka, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff.
Morning
good
to you.
morning, Doctor. My name is Chukwebuka. I think my take is this. The only fear that I think people have is this. Because of the lack of trust on the part of government, they are not sure that when this vaccine comes, there will not be fake ones afterwards. But for me, I will take it. No doubt about that. I am going to take the vaccine. My family is going to take the vaccine. No doubt about that. And then lastly, people have expressed this thought about showing victims on TV and all whatnot, just like it's done in the Western world. We are not Western world. Western world, they can handle it. Nigeria is like a stigma take the issue of HIV or AIDS, way back then. If they say somebody, your neighbor, your brother, your family member, or anybody has HIV, that person becomes something else. You begin to run away from the person. You begin to avoid the person. So if anyone is identified as having COVID-19, even if it's a tenant, landlord can even reject the person. So we can't handle the idea. The idea of people being exposed. Thank you. That's my take.
Thank you, Chikwibuka, for sharing your thoughts. I really do appreciate it. We'll get this call in. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yes, this is Solomon calling from Solo.
Let's talk, Solomon.
Yes, please. My worry here is not necessarily even about maybe the genuine vaccine or not. The people that we've been seeing that have been taking the vaccine, say in the Western world, are generally aged people who are no longer within the reproductive sector of the society.
Bracket, yeah.
So now, because the question being posed sometimes is that, okay, where this president, VPs, and all that, they take it publicly. So people, in order to convince people to take it. But what effect this vaccine will have on the reproductive ability of the populace, especially coming from the we call it rumor now, or whatever it is, of the conspiracy and the suspicion that follows it about probably
affecting fertility,
the vaccine to control population. So I think this is, for me, because self-preservation here, talking about posterity and all that. So if people in their 70s, 80s are taking the vaccination, for me, I don't think that's the issue. If they really want to convince us that, okay, even if it's only 2 doses we have here in Africa, that it's safe for us to take it, let the young ones in the society, let them administer it to them first.
Thank you. Thank you for your thought.
Silent on this conspiracy issue.
Appreciate it. Dr. Ajayi, before you answer that, Sunday is on the line already, so let's speak with him. Sunday, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Yes. My question is this. I learned that President and his vice will be tested. But in the real sense, how are we sure that their own will not be specially met? And then the other one will be anyhow? Because you see, at times Nigerians will carry these things, spare parts, and go to China and ask them just produce them.
This is not
from abroad. Yeah, people will take it. And then by the time you buy and open
this is not spare parts.
More than 3 days. So that's my take this morning. How are we sure that we want that these people will be?
Oh, we lost Sunday's call. Sunday, well, even though you were about to repeat what you had said earlier. Well, thank you for calling. Let's start with the caller about conspiracy theory. He actually took that question out of my mouth, Dr. Ajayi, because it's part of the questions that I had planned to ask you. In the UK, there is this fear that young ladies between the ages of 18 and 35 will be the ones to abstain, to run away from taking the COVID vaccines, because according to them, it will affect, according to what they've been told by some people there, it will affect their fertility and maybe pregnancy. So it's a major concern, it's a major headache for government of the UK. And that's exactly what the previous caller before the last one, raised. Is there anything to be worried about, especially when it comes to vaccines and fertility for young people?
Sheriff, nice one. I mean, actually, the two questions. One is the reproduction, the other one is stigma. I want us to attend to them. Okay, where the guy started from is that it's old people that have been taking the vaccine. So how is it sure that young people, it will not affect their reproduction? Now, the thing is that because the vaccine is limited in number for now, quantity is limited. So what they've done is to categorize people into risk groups. Okay. Now, the older people have, because their immunity is not as strong as younger people. So the most vulnerable are the older people, and that's why you see that it's those older people that are in the first category, all right? Then the second category will be health workers.
Okay.
Irrespective of age. And we can see that some young health workers have been taking it, right? Now, whether it affects reproduction or not, it's not, I cannot categorically say that. But if we understand how the vaccine works, just like I said initially, it's mRNA. So, what it does is that you now produce the antigen in your own body, and you produce the antibody in your body. So, it's supposed to be very safe. But whether on the long run it has, I'm not in a position to say that. But it makes perfect sense that it's not likely to affect reproduction. Unfortunately, some half-baked scientists have taken over the social media. Some people not meaning too well. We have seen what the social media can do, even in the States now, what happened on 6th of January. And we need to be very careful what we swallow on social media. But scientifically, I don't see any reason why it should affect reproduction. Now, but one very important thing again, which one of your callers said, is this issue of stigma.
Right.
And which is a big problem in this part of the world, because
yes, it is.
I don't want to say the word, but it's more like ignorance than any other thing. Now, who are the people who are at risk of contracting COVID? The answer is all of us. As long as you breathe, you can contract COVID.
True.
It is not because of anything you have done. It's not HIV. I even ask people about HIV that what do you need to do to get HIV? In those days, now we know that stigma on HIV has reduced. So many people have owned up to HIV. What did the people who contracted HIV do? They had sex. Who does not have sex? So every one of us, but this is even more, we are more at risk now, because as long as you breathe, you can contract COVID. And therefore, all this stigma attached to it is what is making it to spread in the community. Because people who have COVID now cannot even tell people that they have COVID. And the first thing about COVID is that you need to isolate.
Right.
So I think it's in our best interest that a lot of, I'm surprised, I'm disappointed that there is not enough education on COVID-19. So people need to, all these questions that they're asking, they are genuine questions, which we should supply answers.
Right. Dr. Ajayi, we must go right now. And I would like to say thank you so much for sparing us your time this morning out of your busy schedule to join us on the Morning Crossfire. Thank you, Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, for joining us on the show today.
Sheriff, anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. There you go, Lagos. Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, MD CEO, Nordica Fertility Center, joined us on the show this morning. Thank you all for being a part of the Morning Crossfire. We are back tomorrow at 5 for another round of interesting conversations, all right? You can follow me on Twitter at Sheriff Quadry. Let's keep talking. And also on Instagram at Sheriff Quadry. Good morning to you. Daily Digest with Jimmy Disu is next. I'm out of here.
Guy, you don't see that new funny video for Twitter? That one with the boy.
You mean this one?
What of that brother Shaggy News Kitty? Where they circulate WhatsApp?
Oh, this one.
What of that meme? Where the guy?
When mouth open like this, ba?
Mr. Know It All. Which data you they use know all these things?
Now, Glow new data plans get me.
Are you serious?
With just 50 naira, I they get 50 MB. And with just 100 naira, I they get 150 MB. Where have you use chat or browse on top Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Don't dull yourself, oh. Dial *777# now. Make you begin the browse, they go.
Glow Unlimited.
Congratulations, you have won 1 million naira in the Huggies Happy Home Bonanza.
1 million naira.
Yes, madam, you have won 1 million naira.
This one is not for 1 naira.
No, it's not. No, it's not for 1 naira.
I appreciate you people.
Yeah.
tell you the secret of better food. Now the new no chicken and classic seasoning powder. The ingredient they take make am na natural by nature, like real chicken, rosemary, black and white pepper, garlic, onion, parsley, mushroom, coriander, and plenty more. If you knack new no seasoning powder for inside your jollof, fried rice, egusi, and all other soup, you go know say flavor pass flavor. New no seasoning powder, natural by ingredients, bang by flavor.
Make up for lost travel time and let Emirates reconnect you with the world. If you've got big plans for 2021, it's time to put them into action. Take advantage of our special fares, starting from 313,585 naira. Every flight includes multi-risk travel insurance, COVID-19 cover, and the flexibility to change your booking. Visit Emirates.com, book by the 25th of January, and travel with peace of mind. Fly Emirates. Fly better.